Hey, welcome back to my channel, the place where we put your well-being first. And today we're going to look at a self-care Sunday. So I'm going to personally share with you my self-care Sunday, and you can look at how to put into practice it into your life. So first things first, why should we practice self-care? Well, self-care helps us nurture and care for our mental well-being. So there's feelings of stress, anxiety, overwhelmed, even lack of clarity or lack of confidence. This can be the feelings we experience when our mental well-being is being pushed. Yet if we practice self-care on a regular basis, then it helps us keep these feelings to a safe and healthy level. Things become much more manageable. We also feel more confident, we're more productive, and our whole well-being improves as a result. So the important thing, what does self-care look like? Well, it's not some hippie shit that you have to get a special invite for or anything like that. It's the things that you enjoy doing. So my one big advice here is a break from the norm, okay? So breaking your usual patterns and habits. Now, self-care could be reading a book, taking a long bath, cooking, baking, an arts and crafts hobby. It could be anything as long as you enjoy doing it. And like I said, my one big tip is something that you wouldn't usually do. Now, self-care can have many different practices and many different shapes, and it's important to have several in our lives. So as I go into my experience, my Sunday, then you'll see how I have different things. So there's different things with different parts of my life, and also that give me different things. So my Sunday, what happens is I wake up normally about 6:30, 7, so roughly the same time as usual. Now I find this helps with maintaining an even sleep pattern and also even energy over my days. The first thing I do is I meditate. Every single morning I sit up in bed and I will meditate for a few moments, okay? My favorite preferred practice is listen to either a guided or some music, so something to give me something to listen to. Okay, now I tend to choose something that is say 10 or 20 minutes long in length, and if I feel like ending sooner, then of course I will do. The next thing I do is I get up, okay, but I get up, get my leggings on, my trainers on, and I get ready to go to the gym. Now you may notice how I say go to the gym straight away. There is no breakfast. Now the reason for that is because one, I eat plenty on a Saturday afternoon to allow for this. But two, if you eat a full meal, then of course you should wait at least an hour before you have a good workout. Now what I find is usually because I eat really well on a Saturday, that I feel good on a Sunday and I'm not hungry when I wake up. I don't need food. So I'm very good for my workout. If I feel I do need something, then I'll have something light like a yogurt or piece of fruit. So something to help me on my way. Now, Sundays for me as my workout is always leg day. Now, there are times where I change my routine, so sometimes I may lift really heavy, or there's times like now because I've injured my nose again, where I'm going to be lighter, more body weight, or maybe even just high repetition, these sorts of things. So I'll adapt my workout to suit what my body needs, how I'm feeling, my energy levels, but I will still go to the gym and do this. I don't do home workouts. I still get up, I get out, I get to the workout, and then I come back home, okay? So I have my sort of break into my own little bubble. Now, my gym is one that I've never taught at. I don't really know anybody, and it is for that reason. That's my bubble. So I've got no friends in that gym or anything like that. It is a case of I go, do my thing, whatever my body needs and feels good for, and then I come home feeling great. Now, the first thing I do when I get home is I eat. Okay, so 9 times out of 10 this is normally egg based, so I normally have like scrambled egg with spinach and toast, or maybe even protein pancakes. So there's high proteins that go in, usually a few carbohydrates, and this way my body's getting the fuel it needs post workout, but also to charge me up ready for the day. I'll make my coffee, so I actually have a cafetiere of coffee most times, and of course sometimes I have a juice. Now when I sit and eat my breakfast on a Sunday, I love this meal, okay, because it is, the question for my Sunday is what do I feel like, okay? So above all is what do I feel like. So when as I'm going to the gym, I know I'm training lower body, but it's what do I feel like doing, okay? Other than knowing my muscle group, I haven't planned my exercises so much, okay? I allow myself that freedom, and I've got the knowledge to be able to do that. I understand if you need to be more structured in your training, then that may not also be possible, always be possible. But for me, that's something I can allow. So when I come home, what do I feel like? There's that question. And when I choose my food, that's what happens. But then I sit down and enjoy that meal. I have no music, I'm not watching any device, I'm not even reading the news, nothing. I sit and enjoy my meal, okay? Following this, I then jump in the shower and I get myself ready for the rest of my day, okay? So sometimes it's a jammy Sunday, put my pajamas on. Sometimes I feel like getting more dressed up, but again, it's what do I feel like, okay? Sundays are all about what do I feel like? And how often do you ask yourself this for everything that you do, okay? I can tell you what, it was a massive game changer for my self-care Sundays because I started listening to me and I let go of the needs, okay? The need to do for someone else, the need to do for my business or anything like that. Is what do I feel, okay? So I get dressed in whatever I feel like I want to do, and then that question comes again. What do I feel like doing? Okay, so my self-care Sundays involve a device-free zone. So I may sometimes put on music, but I'm not looking at a device. So no YouTube, I'm not on social medias, I'm not doing anything. And if I do, it's a very limited period because I want to give my brain the switch off as well as let my eyes recover. And of course, it helps encourage me into something else. Now, this is why I have a whole realm of different things to do. So sometimes I get my Sudoku book out. Sometimes I get my colouring books and pencils. Sometimes this is one of my things I've made, I actually sewed, okay? Now, the one thing I'll say about finding the things that you like is trial and error. Sewing, although I made what looks like a perfect pillow, I even made one for my mum, I didn't really enjoy doing it. It felt great to get something achieved, but as soon as it was done, there was like, oh phew, thank God that's done, okay? And when you're doing something on a regular basis, you don't want to have that phew, thank God that's done, because that creates the feelings of work, okay? So think about the work day, that feeling of thank God I'm going home. You don't want those feelings. You want to feel like, yeah, I'm glad to finish it, but I can pick it up another time. It's that sort of, there's still that level of joy. So the one thing that I've personally found that I enjoy is macrame. So the arts of tying knots. Now, I found this fun, but first off, it was challenging, okay? Anything you try for the first time will be a level of discomfort because you're the beginner. You don't know what you're doing. And we don't like not knowing, okay? There's a level of unknown to that, okay? So the first time I started making these, I'm then the instructions measured to this length and I'm making this. And of course it is like, oh my God, what am I doing this for? Okay, so I spent all this time measuring out lengths and all this, and then trying to figure out how to do each knot and what each meant, and yeah, it was a little confusing. And even now when I pick up a design, I have to look back and flick back on what it needs to do. It doesn't mean to say I know it all. I do not, okay? But now I've gone past that initial, say, rabbit and headlights feeling, and I'm getting into the enjoyment. I'm learning, I'm doing something, there's no devices. I'm allowing my brain a chance to think. I'm allowing myself a chance to learn, which gives you a chance to grow. It's personal growth as well. So for this one, for example, I actually added the bottom bit on and I felt really creative with it. So although this design that I originally copied was only up to about sort of this mark, I added this extra bit on. I know it's not anything huge, but that felt like a little sense of achievement, okay? So as you do these things, you can feel those senses of achievement, which again gives that sense of reward. What I've also started to do is I've given some of these as gifts. So my nan, I made a dream catcher for. So my nan is 99. So she has a dream catcher in her window that I made for her and she absolutely adores it, okay? So sometimes you can make these little things and give them as gifts, okay? So you can share your joy with somebody else, okay? So after I've gone through my self-care afternoon where I've had no devices, at worst it's music that I'm listening to just to break up, say, the silence. Then of course later that's when I get to my food prep. So sometimes I do cook or bake, so I may make a whole pot of something, but also it's the chance to prep. So like if I've got 3 or 4 peppers in the fridge, I might cut up 2 or 3 of them. So I slice them and put them into tubs. that way for the next 2 or 3 days, they're in the fridge, I can just grab them and they're ready to go with, okay? This means it saves me time actually overall because I'm doing everything in one. I also save time in those busy days. So the days where maybe I'm from client to client, I'm running around, I don't need to worry because everything is ready. Even if the meal's ready done, I just need to reheat it. It's there for me. Then my Sunday, I do enjoy watching movies. So of course, after sort of 6:30, 7 o'clock, that's when the movie goes on, okay? So I do put my feet up, maybe dim lighting, soft lighting, relaxing. The idea is I create a relaxing space. I don't worry about tomorrow. This is just where I go, I feel a sense of accomplishment for doing what I've done. I feel good for looking after my body. I've done that first thing. Of course, I feel good because I've set up my food or started to get ready for the week. And now I can just relax, okay? So I sit and watch a movie and relax. In that time, I'll also probably have my dinner, so I may pause the movie, or maybe I have my little naughty and have the tray on a table. So normally I'm a person, I do like sitting at the table when I eat my meals. Now, after that, before I sort of get ready into bed, I do check back to my diary and think about tomorrow. So I think back to my Monday, what do I need to prep? Make sure I know what time my first session is, those sorts of things, okay? So if I need to, I'll pack a bag, I'll adjust, but 9 times out of 10, see, Mondays I work from home, so that's really nice and easy. I just need to know exactly what time my first session is to make sure I can plan my morning and I know exactly how my morning's going to roll and everything like that. Then I start getting ready for bed to clean the teeth, getting it changed, all those sorts of things. And then I crawl into bed and I do a meditation. So the second meditation of the day. Now, this isn't to think about anything else. So this sometimes can be longer. Sometimes this can just be a few minutes. This is basically preparing me for the day. So I'm not worrying about tomorrow. I'm not thinking about something I've done. I'm not letting myself drift, okay? I'm just allowing myself to switch off and then go to sleep, okay? And so normally by the time my head hits the pillow, it's about 10:30. So give or take 10:30, my head's hit the pillow. Okay, and then I feel great and recharged. So hopefully you can see there I've done something for my body, I've done something for my mind, but also I've allowed myself to switch off and break my normal patterns. But above all, the question has been, what do I want to do? What do I feel like doing? Okay, so I've given myself the chance to do something that's just for me. It's what I want in that moment and it allows me that time. So you may be more restrictive. You may have a family, you may have other things that you need to do, like someone you care for, or maybe you're someone who works on a Sunday. That's absolutely cool. You pick a day or time that works for you. So sometimes I do work Sundays, okay? So if I work a Sunday, it's in the morning. So my day may get mixed up a little bit, but in the afternoon, I still have that detox, that switch off, and then of course that evening. Even if that time is reduced, I may only have an hour, I may have 2 hours, but again, I give myself that time, which is mine, okay? So it's kind of my precious time, it's my time. Now, my encouragement for you is have a look at your day. Don't think about jumping in feet first and trying to get it all done at once, because that will make it a bigger challenge and your mind and body are probably going to resist this. Pick something, and for your Sunday, plan a self-care day to, even as you go through, ask yourself, what do I feel like doing now? And if you go for device free, I recommend starting at 1 to 2 hours to begin with, because again, it will feel unusual to be detached for a lengthy period. Otherwise, let me know how you get on. Let me know what your thoughts are. What is your self-care? What is the one go-to that you have that you recommend others try as well? Drop them into the comments, and of course, if you found value and like this video, then hit that like button. Otherwise, enjoy those Sundays, enjoy those self-care moments, and I will see you in the next video.